Stellaris Nomads just released and there are some crazy mechanics. In this video we will begin our first playthrough in the patch 4.4 as the Revanchist Empire following the Heirs of the Khan origin. Now during the gameplay we also discovered a very strong start that comes with the new civic flight schools. It basically makes your military arcships unbeatable at the start of the game. We won against same military power fleets and also against fleets with 3 times as much firepower without taking any armor damage. We even managed to obliterate a Grand Admiral determined Exterminator just 4 years into the game without hurting our scaling potential. This video doesn't stop at just the military though. I also go over some key economic decisions to make our arcship economy function, getting good unity and tech output throughout the first few decades. So in the end, I guarantee you leave this video with a much better understanding of nomadic economy. Quick report from High Command before we dive deeper. Most of you watching aren't officially enlisted yet. If this run gives you ideas for your own games, subscribe and join our navy. We are gonna be following the Heirs of the Khan, which is a new origin from this DLC, and the whole goal of this origin is that we can reclaim the throne of the Khan after some time, of course. We are gonna be periodically chased by hostile marauder ships. We are also be able to create satrapy vassals, so we are gonna be moving around the galaxy very fast. Now the nomadic gameplay for Stellaris, it is completely different than everything else. For this we are gonna start with the military arcship, which means that we are gonna have plus 5% ship fire rate and weapons range, on top of starting with a military arcship which comes with different weapon loadouts. For the first year we already start with 4 medium weapon slots, which is gonna be great. Now talking about our civics and authorities, we are gonna go for Imperial just so we can get plus 10% resources from jobs. Obviously, since we are pretty much a marauder, we are gonna have the Void River Civic, which is a brand new civic that unlocks the Plundering Bombardment stance, which allows us to steal resources produced on a planet. We also get additional defensive modules and piracy modules on our Waystations, which is just a minor detail. On top of that, we get plus 1 cloaking strength, which means that we can sneakily put our Waystations inside enemy territory. We also have less military ship ally cost, which is very nice, and the Master Gunner Council position, which is, yeah, not the greatest one. But just from the Plundering Bombardment stance, this is already very huge. Then we also have flight schools, because we are marauder, right? We have plenty of small ships. Everyone in our clan, they have some sort of flight capability. Since we are also avians, we are very well used to the flying mechanics, and thus we start with the carrier operations, which is the tier 1 strikecraft technologies, and we can also build this hangar base on our Waystations. Pair that with the extra Waystations that we get from the Void Rivers. That's gonna be quite fun to test it out. We also have a very unique modifier. Strikecraft speed plus 10% and sublight speed plus 20% is also very huge. Combine that with what we had from our military arcship and the Heirs of the Khan, you're gonna be incredibly fast. Then for our effics, we're gonna go for militarist and fanatic materialist, since we're gonna go for the synthetic ascension path. Our great Khan, he's gonna achieve immortality through the synthetic ascension. That is our game plan. For our traits, since we are Void Reavers, why not just go with the Reaver trait, right? It's gonna give us more job efficiency for traders, and our commanders will start with the Plunderer trait, giving us more sublight speed, evasion chance, and we get consumer good ore trade per naval capacity of destroyed ships. So that is very good, both in terms of thematic gameplay and also for our strategy, which is to have more sublight speed for our arcship. Then we're gonna have this trait, which I cannot pronounce very well, existential something, and we get plus 20% pop growth during war and crisis. But guess what? Since we are the Heirs of the Khan, we are gonna be declaring war on everybody in the galaxy. It's gonna be quite fun. On top of that, we get the recursive learner trait, which is a very special trait that is available only to nomadic empires, and we get more job efficiency per district depending on the arcship class. Since we have the military one, we are gonna have job efficiency for engineers and soldier jobs, which is exactly what we want. We want to research engineering so we can have better ship technologies and stronger arcships, and also soldier jobs so we can have more naval capacity. Then we have the hollow bones, and we are in space. I suppose that our bones wouldn't be that strong, and it is also very good in terms of gameplay performance, because arcships, no matter how many districts they have, have, they are still size 9. So if you have an arc ship with 30 districts, that's still gonna count as size 9, which means you're gonna get pretty negligible modifiers from this. For our ruler, the Dracon Akitari, by the way commanders, if you are a channel member, you can submit your own ship names and leader names to appear in all of our playthroughs, depending on your tier of course. We have a special name list containing all the leader, ship, planet and fleet names. So Dracon Akitari, he's gonna be a commander with the warlike trait, just so you can get more ship weapons damage and army damage. For our game settings, we are gonna be playing at the Grand Admiral difficulty, pretty much everything default, just 10 times the crisis strength, all crisis. I'm not gonna go for the 25 times for this run, because we are just testing out, and I don't think that this origin is particularly good into the late game, but it is very good thematically. On top of that, you're gonna play as the maximum Fallen Empire strength, just to see how devastating they are. Everything else, they are gonna be enabled difficulty adjusted AI modifiers, scaling difficulty, let's set to mid-game, and everything else is normal. Normal tech cost, tradition, difficulty adjusted, and etc. commanders. So let's begin. So here we are in the Hideout system. Wow. That's kind of a good start, by the way. We have, I think this is the Chosen, which is the fanatic xenophobe ones. Now, since we are playing as Nomads, we have a very bad negative modifier, unaligned shield projectors. Unfortunately, in order to realign it, we need to be in a pulsar system, and we are in a neutron star, however, which reduces our sublight speed by 50%. It's not a very good place to be. Since we have the Heirs of the Khan, we are gonna be constantly attacked by marauder ships. So the first thing I'm gonna do is actually try to fix these shields, otherwise we might get in a tough situation. The closest pulsar so far, it seems to be this one. So let's move towards this system. We are gonna send in our science officer and our logistic ships. They are gonna survey system and harvest. As you may know, harvesting without surveying systems is extremely bad, so we're gonna first survey and then harvest to get a lot more resources. For the technologies, we're gonna start with nanomechanics, because we're gonna have more engineering output, which is perfect for our build, and on top of that, this one should be good as well. Oh, those three technologies are great. I think I'm just gonna go for the xenobiology, so we build one research lab for each specialization and just let the research slowly build up. Well, the first thing we're gonna do is just build a void forge specialization for our ordnance engineering. This is gonna give us more allies from metallurgists, which is perfect. We're also gonna build a science ship, and we already have a contract to go. 1000 trade for the Revanchist Empire. What does it say? It seems that the Fallen Braves have set up an outpost in the system. We should knock it out before they get a foothold. Oh, so these are our enemies, we can already attack them. And the good part is that with arc ships we can take direct control of them. So there we are, we can move it whilst it is in battle. This is so huge, especially for the strike craft, because we can just stay outside of their range. I don't think they have the firepower to get through our shields anyways. But just to be sure, I'm gonna surround them. The contract has been completed. We have completed the Waystation and received our reward. Who paid this reward? I don't know. The mysterious forces of the Great Khan, perhaps. So let's continue to move towards the pulsar. Now we already built another science ship, and we can have the roamer trait, which is a little bit buffed in the current patch. Very nice. For our planet, we are gonna build 2 administrative offices so we can get more unity output right at the start of the game, because we will still need to ascend our species, right? Even though it's gonna take a lot of time, eventually we're gonna do that. The good part about Nomads is that we can activate the burn approach, which is gonna give us plus 50% job efficiency for the specialist. We can offset this because this is gonna consume a lot of our basic resources, but in order to fix that, we're just gonna set a monthly trade to buy 42 minerals or energy. Both are still fine. We found an alien vessel. Let's see who they are. Oh, they are rocks. This should be a great test for our military capabilities. Can we defeat all these rocks, or will we get disabled? We have 900 fleet power. I think... Where is the pulsar? Oh, no, we need to go around a little bit. Oh, that's too bad. Well, let's test it out before we even repair our shields, shall we? just to see how strong our arc ship is. Well, since we are the Revanchist, what better tradition to grab first than the enmity? We don't even know who we are against. Outside of that Marauder, the Fallen things, we are still gonna declare every single empire in this galaxy as our rival as soon as we can. First we need to find them, of course. Alright, fleet is moving into position. All of our population from the Falcon military arc ship. Now let's kite them. We are a little bit fast, 186 speed. It is not even close. We are much faster than they are. They're gonna take 0 damage. Haha, this is so good. Arc ship going in close now. Just give them a broadside. Let's kite them a little bit, just so we don't take any armor and hull damage. Oh, in the middle of the battle, our scientists discovered the Gruner. Let's take a look at that in just a second. And our military arc ship, it leveled up, I believe. Or our leader leveled up, because we have 1.1 thousand military power now. Yes, Lucian Bender. Oh, and we got the Skirmisher, which I believe might be the best trait for commanders with this build, since it's gonna give us plus 15% sublight speed. 210 already. Let's look at a Corvette, 163. So we are literally faster than a Corvette. Well, we found our first alien civilization. They are a determined exterminator basically, because they are already terrible relations with us. They already hate us and they are willing to attack anything that comes in their system. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove the cluttered hangar base, which are reducing our strike craft damage by minus 25%. We have 2 of them, which is severely affecting our military arc ship. On top of that, once we have the alloys, we're gonna change the docking bay into another strike craft hangars, and this way we're gonna have so many strike crafts that these military ships, they won't be able to counter us. Now let's stop their expansion, destroying their their science ship. Wow, it got blown up. They didn't even get a chance to retreat. Fantastic. They are really aggressive at the early game. The Draco Nactari also leveled up, and we also got the Skirmisher. No way. 230 sublight speed already. Now they are insisting on expanding their borders. We are not gonna allow that. We're gonna use our arc ship to destroy yet another one of their science vessels. Oh, familiar hunters, wait a second. Ever since we were exiled, we have waited for the pursuing thing to appear. There are bounty hunters on our tail and they have the Falcon in their sights. Our death in exile would suit the usurper. We will have to disappoint them, however. So there they are, the Marauder Corvette. So small, so fragile, so useless against us. Another arc ship jumped in, that's quite cool. We have defeated the agents of the usurper once more. They will not stop coming, and the next time they will be stronger. But will they be strong enough to defeat this massive beast? I don't think so. If we break enough of them, perhaps even they will learn that we are not so easily erased. As long as Falcon flies, so too does our claim. We will teach them that some legacies refuse to die. We must prepare. We gain 300 unity, quite good, and I think that this might be the Champion's Life Forge, right? Very cool arc ship, much more developed than ours. And the Chrome Reapers, they just don't learn, do they? Sending in one of their science ships that survived. They didn't even repair the ship, they are so desperate that they are sending in even damaged science vessels. A beast is gonna emerge from the hyperlane to destroy you. Goodbye. Damn. So right now we also finished building up 2 large deflector systems, like here, shield arrays, so our arc ship is a little bit tankier as well. We have 9,000 shields, almost 10,000. We have some medium mass drivers that came from the origin and 4 basic strike crafts already. It is very safe for us to already start attacking this machine intelligence and even plundering their planet. Okay, so this is gonna be our first military encounter. Let's just stay away from them and use our strike craft damage. Oh.
Is
so one fleet destroyed, now just take the starbase. We don't even need to stay in range of their starbase. We just stay very far away. What can they do to counter this? Basically nothing. Have a cruiser at year 4 basically. Now let's just jump in close range to speed things up then. We have way too many shields and they're gonna repair eventually. Starbase dominated. We are auto-bombarding them, thankfully. Let's set the bombardment stance to plundering. Very light damage to armies, moderate damage to planet, and while under 70% devastation, monthly chance of stealing resources 40%. That is not the greatest, but it is something, right? Actually, I think I'm gonna do something different this time. Instead of plundering their system, their planet, we have a monthly chance of gaining 40% of this production, which is not that much. I think that instead I'm gonna survey this system, so we can harvest every single one of their planets. So we already finished our first tradition, the enmity, but we do not have contacts with anybody else in the galaxy to declare them as rivals. What we're gonna use is the antagonistic diplomatic stance, which means we're gonna get plus 10 unity from rivalries, which is fantastic. So we have a lot of good options for our first Ascension perk. We could go either Wanderlust, which is gonna buff a lot of things for us, or just Mastery of Nature for that massive plus 50% resources from harvesting actions. I think I'm gonna go with this option because the Wanderlust, it is a very scaling Ascension perk. It requires us to roam around the galaxy in order to collect all of its perks. So this will come online much later into the game, but right now we need to snowball our economy. So let's go with this option. So we survey their capital system, and just by harvesting... What the hell? Nah, this cannot be true. We are gonna get 90,000 in terms of operational reserves. What is this? 24,000 minerals, 6,500 energy. That is multiplied by 3 for our operational reserves. And on top of that, we're gonna even harvest living metal. We don't have the stockpile to harvest everything though. How do we harvest first? So apparently it is quite weird to harvest a capital system from another empire, because their energy credit production is still available at 17 energy per month. So we're gonna build our first Waystation here, because 17 energy per month, that is worth the amount of resources, so we can collect everything here. I think that we cannot harvest the stars, right? Yeah, so that might be the case. For our second tradition, I think we're gonna go for prosperity. This way we have more logistic ship stockpile capacity, Waystation as well, and resources from harvesting actions, on top of some buffs through our job output. Now we have our first Waystation inside the determined Exterminator territory, and they can't do anything about that, because our arc ship controls the entire system, and look at how many debris we have here. They just keep pumping up ships and we keep destroying them. Oh, and here are the defenses that our civic gives. Asteroid batteries, missile silos, petrol hangars, very good. And piracy, oh, this one is actually cool. We get plus 1.5% monthly production stolen. This is so good. This one, River Stronghold, we steal more resources from them as well. But of course we have -6 cloaking strength, so we cannot be cloaked. But more ship hull and fire rate, and 30% damage reduction, holy. And this one, we become cloaked basically, but we do not want to become cloaked, we already have full control over the system. What we're gonna do is just build a solar array, so we can harvest this energy from the stars, and then we're gonna build a... Oh, but the River Stronghold has an upkeep 50 trade value, and on top of that it costs 1,500 alloys. That is extremely expensive. Let's just go for a pirate hideout. Here they managed to establish another station. We are gonna destroy the station. They're colonizing the planet. We're gonna leave them to colonize it. We're gonna build a way station here, and we're gonna siphon all of their resources. Attacking them should be no problem, destroying everything that they have. Military arc ship versus space station. Hydrogen bomb, coughing baby. Just getting blasted with the strike crafts. Now we have established communications with the Chrome Reaper sovereignty. Organic vermin detected. Your infestation of this galaxy cannot be permitted to continue. That is a very welcoming message. We can declare rivalry right at the get-go, and we can also set our diplomatic stance to antagonist. So we have another usurper activity, the Fallen Braves. Reduces the fleet power of future hostile hunter fleets. So let's go down, accept the contract, and move. It's gonna be pretty easy. So far, these events from the origin are not that challenging. The Chrome Reaper insulted us. Look at those feeble revanchist appendages. They don't even have integrated multi-spanners of pneumatic flash lacerators. We cannot take this. Cannot take this anymore. We gotta declare war on them. Let's just harvest this system first, right? We cannot allow them actually to expand because they are creating more ships. So if we have our arc ships inside their territory, we can prevent them from building anything else by controlling their station. So we're gonna keep them in check, just draining them of their resources with our Waystation, stealing their production. Now we're gonna test something really funny. We are gonna send our arc ship, which has only 2.7 thousand fleet power, to try and defeat this amount of space rocks. Our commander is a little bit experienced with space rocks. We already defeated them before, but now they are in a much larger quantity, and we are extremely fast as well. Just the rocks lining up to be destroyed. So we can punch way above our weight with these kiting mechanics. And just like that, the system is being cleared out very efficiently. Everything destroyed, 0 armor and 0 hull damage taken. Well, I suppose that for our next Ascension perk, let's go for Wanderlust. It will already give us +2 districts right at the get-go, reduce our tradition cost by -10%, and now we have the Nomadic Wanderlust. Explore ancient wonders. 0 out of 4 systems, and we have a plethora of systems to explore, and in the end we're gonna get a lot of bonuses. None of these bonuses are game changing, of course, but they are slightly good, like 10% naval capacity, 10% job efficiency for pretty much all types of researchers, on top of some other bonuses like bureaucrats and etc. But yeah, it's gonna take some time before we complete everything. The good part is, once we complete everything, we get this, +1 district, then +2 districts, and -10 tradition cost. I believe it stacks with our current modifiers from just grabbing the Ascension perk. Now, just a side note here, Commanders, this series will continue in the future episodes as a member exclusive until we finish the entire run. Once we finish, I will compile the best moments into a single video available for everyone, not just the channel members, so nobody misses out in the end. But if you want to know everything that I do, the EveryClick version with the episodes commented gameplay will be available for channel members. That's gonna be it for today's video. We have our first impressions of the nomadic gameplays with our Revanchist Empire. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.